So Dave dropped this G+L off for a setup and fret dress. When you've got fret wear like this, you don't want to dress, because this goes right up to the 10th fret. So we're going to do a partial refret right up to the 10th fret, and then we'll do a light dress and he'll be back to factory spec. I am going to start with it's a very light liquid compound. Most auto body supply shops will carry something similar. This stuff I just picked up at the local Canadian Tire, and it is Meguiar's. But you can use Meguiar's or 3M or Ferracla. There's a bunch of different liquid compounds easily available that'll do this job for you. I'll go ahead and just clean up the rest of the fingerboard before we get started. You can see that he has kind of chewed right through the finish here, which is, typical of a maple neck. When we have the frets out, I may clean this up with naphtha, and then I'll pad some light French polish on there before we put the new frets in. In most cases, when you're doing a partial refret, it's usually for acoustic guitars where they're playing the cowboy chords, the first 3 frets, and then the rest of the frets are like the day it left the factory. Not the case here. They're chewed up pretty good. He's been playing this thing big time. Like I said, I'm just kind of cleaning this all up right now, and then we'll get those 10 frets out. And then I'll wipe down this surface with the naphtha to remove any residue before I pad some French polish on. It's basically just to seal up the raw wood. Let's get those worn frets out of there. The first step is to get a little bit of heat on there. I am liking that. That came out good and clean. They spotted the 2 ends with super glue, and then the middle of the fret was just a mechanical fit. I'm going to just draw that blade across there. And I'll get a measurement on the width of the tang. So the body of the tang is 21 thou, but with the bead along both sides, that increases that width to 32 thou. So it's kind of a standard fret wire. Well, since there are no big surprises here, we'll go ahead and get the rest of these frets out. quick wipe with some naphtha to clean up any of that compound I used earlier. And then we will be ready to put frets on. And then a few passes of French polish, and we'll be ready to put those new frets in. Well, we've done Leo proud here. I think we've covered our tracks pretty good. At a glance, nobody would ever know we were here. So this isn't like those thick polyurethane finishes of the 70s. This is a very thin coat. I'm talking about the original coat. Super thin. We're ready to make the compensated nut. Okay, we have our compensated nut blank. And for all of you Patron guys, you know I leave it too long so you have that little bit of forgiveness at the end when it's all done. We got all the new frets in, edge dress, level crown polish, it's all been done. We're setting this one up for 10 to 46 strings. Now unfortunately our local music stores, believe it or not, they're closed on Wednesdays, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow now to finish this one up. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Well, what you were looking at a second ago was a UHMD, ultra high molecular density plastic insert to stop the vibrato system from moving at all. Every once in a while I'll get a customer that says, you know something, I never use the tremolo. Can you block it? That's how I do it. It's completely reversible. That's just a perfect press fit. I thicknessed it to that perfect press fit on the radius disc sander, just bit by bit, a few thou at a time. Press that in there. It never goes out of tune. As you can see, he dropped a couple of Duncan humbuckers in there. He got rid of the 3 single coils. So it's really kind of like a Les Paul Strat type thing. I think tuning was an issue on this, and as you saw earlier, the fret wear on this, like when the frets wear like that, you've got tuning problems. It's not just about buzzing. So I'm going to start, as I always do, by playing a bunch of chords in different positions along the length of the neck, so that you can kind of hear how regulated the guitar is. This, of course, has a compensated nut. It's especially the first position chords. All those garden variety. You could do a folk gig on this guitar. I have a G blues vamp, sort of a dominant 7th progression. Okay, we'll let this play.